At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about, how it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Okay. And you guys share. Okay, tuko hapo mami.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, wherever you are. Good afternoon, wherever you are. And good night, but not good night. Before you sleep, you have to join us and listen to this talk show this Sunday. And we are talking about relationships. We are talking about friendship in diaspora. We as foreigners, how we carry ourselves within each other. Do we give support to each other? Do we check on each other? So we're going to categorize, we have the relationship friendship part also. Last in diaspora, do we get to love each other until the end in diaspora? Or friendship-wise, do we maintain the friendship until the end, supporting each other no matter what? Yeah. And today we are 4 people in the house. We have Ken in the house. He's a businessman. We have Lydia in the house. Oh, amazing lady. As always, I tell you, she's the one perfect lady you can a mentor in every woman's life. You have to follow and understand what she does. We have Walter. He's been joining us every time we are here on live in diaspora, live abroad. Walter, welcome to the talk show. Ken, welcome to the talk show. Lydia, welcome to the talk show. Ken, you are new to us. Can you introduce yourself so that people can know who you are?
Thank you so much, Anna. I'm new, but also not new. I've run a radio show with Lydia. Yeah. So I guess most of people in Lydia's line will definitely know me. Yeah. I'm Kenneth Kaunda Ouko, like I told you. I'm based in the UK now. Mm-hmm. I'm also the chairman of Diaspora Association in Finland. Mm-hmm. I'm into finance and investments. Yes. I'm also a lawyer. I've done international law. So generally, but I do a lot of things on the side. I do one of them radio shows, I do TV shows, I do political analysis. I do a lot of stuff on the side. And on top of everything else, I'm a proper Pan-Africanist who believes in the friendshipness and collective consciousness of Black people and African people.
Beautiful, beautiful, Kenneth. We are glad to have you on board, and I think we're going to have an amazing talk with you because you are the perfect person for this talk show this Sunday. So welcome, feel at home. Okay. Thank you, here basically we just talk and we follow. Lydia will be following the comments on our program also, and she'll be reading them out. Also, she'll be contributing on this talk show. Walter, welcome once again. Walter, you're on mute. Can you unmute your microphone, please? Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So you're the guest, a special guest to us, Kenneth Kaunda Ouko. That name is a heavy name. Yeah? A very heavy
proper name. African name.
In our society in Kenya, listen, we just give you salute. Okay? So thank you. we start with you, Kenneth.
I will earn the salute.
Yeah. We start with you, Kenneth. What are the challenges we are facing in the diaspora? We as Kenyans especially, yeah. We are talking also in terms of other foreigners who are following up our program, yeah. What are the challenges we face here in diaspora that we cannot be supportive of each other in our daily lives?
First of all, I'm going to make it very concise first so that we understand the main points of these challenges we're talking about before I delve deeper later, maybe into the details. But I'm going to make it very direct that one of the challenges we have in diaspora is that we usually come abroad without proper knowledge and information of what to expect. And therefore, when we come abroad, we experience what we call the culture shock. And this culture shock is not just the term as it is used all the time. It's the term in terms of we were not prepared adequately for what to expect when we come abroad. And therefore, when you come here, you are trying to balancing your identity as an African or a Kenyan who has grown up in Kenya and your identity as a diaspora. So that conflict of identity becomes a problem for us to actually balance. And therefore, in the middle, we come up with what I call the floating identity. We lose some identity in the process. You don't know which side you belong to. Should you remain steadfast as an African or a Kenyan, or should you remain steadfast in the current society that you are in? So that conflict in identity becomes a big problem. But the main issue is because we are not adequately prepared for what to expect when we come abroad. In that sense, you may think that people are not supportive because they want to, but because they're also dealing with their identity issues at some point. They're trying to balance what they have experienced, the new experience and the normal experience. That's number one. Number two is that when we come abroad, sometimes we are also coming with the mentality of communal living abroad. So we carry that mentality abroad where it's not actually existent. So you come to a society whereby individualism is quite high. Like I have lived in Finland for a long time where individuality is quite high. I came from a country where community living was quite common. I know my neighbor, I know my friends, I know my cousins. When you come abroad, you realize this is not the situation here, but you still kind of expect in your head that this should persist. So sometimes our expectations from our brothers and sisters is also too high because you have come into a society where everyone is so busy with their own thing, but you have expectations from a different society. So these kind of expectations that are not matched together becomes a problem. So sometimes we actually expect too much from people in a new society, in a new environment where everything runs differently. That's the second thing. And the third main thing where I feel that we don't support each other is because of the culture of competition that is brittled among us when you grow up. Like, for example, if you grow up in a polygamous situation, for example, just an example, you will find out that each house is always trying to outdo the other house. And that's the nature of our relationships in the wider society. In the wider society, you are always trying to be better than your neighbor. You are always trying to beat your neighbor in terms of education, in terms of quality of life, in terms of everything you buy, materialistic stuff, and therefore it becomes a problem when we are too competitive. We cannot genuinely support one another. I can't really support you to grow and make your relationship, for example, thrive if I'm also trying to do something different. I will feel like, if I make Anna thrive, if I make Lydia thrive, if I make Walter thrive, I'm going to be demeaning myself and letting them go up. So we've been taught a culture whereby you have to pull someone down to climb up. And that culture persists for a long time and it becomes a very difficult thing to get rid of. So I think those are the three main points. I will delve deeper into each of them, but those are the three main issues that we've had.
Well, they make a lot of sense. They make a lot of sense, though. Yeah, it's a wider topic. We can ask a lot of questions about what you said, the three major things that you said. Yeah, because they reflect actually in what we experience. Yeah, they reflect actually in what we experience. Maybe what Kenneth, before we go further and talk to Lydia and Walter, can you maybe give us that culture difference? Maybe the number two, I think you said about the culture difference.
Yeah, okay.
Can you give us an example of two things so that we can know what we're talking about when we say culture difference?
There's a culture difference in terms of it's obvious that when you come to Europe, for example, let's say, for example, in Europe, when you come to Europe, you'll find that the expectations of the society on an individual is quite different. Now, when we talk about culture, let's first know what we mean by culture. Culture is basically our way of life. It's the traditions, it's the practices, it's just the normal things that we do in everyday life to thrive or to survive in a society. It's the way nature has made us, survive within the society. And as African people, we know that we have always been one with nature in that we regard another human being as part of the whole. It is not a selected individual. It's a part, all of us are part of the whole. And without the whole, we all cease to exist. This is the philosophy of Africa, even though it is unspoken, even though we've taken on capitalism and stuff, but the philosophy is, I am because you are. You are because I am. So that kind of unwritten law in our system makes our culture. And therefore that culture becomes a culture whereby we are always looking out for each other, in terms of communal. I'm going to go into capitalism and what brings the competition. But in terms of our roots as Africans, we've always looked out for each other. Now, when you come to Europe, it is a largely capitalistic world. It's capitalistic in that each person for themselves, and it is a society whereby you survive based on your fitness to survive. Are you fit to survive within the society? And it's a society that's based primarily on financial success. So you see, if you come from a culture whereby it's not primarily based on financial success to a society that's predominantly financial success based, it becomes a conflict. Because this is the issue, yeah? In Africa, we have capitalism, that's right. But even within the capitalism, we still have remnants of what we had as Africans. We still have remnants of socialism and communalism. I use both terms because they have different meanings. But we still have remnants of a society that is always moving together as a people. So however much we are delving into capitalism, we still have that remnant. So when you come abroad, you find an established capitalistic system, and that forms the foundation of every other interaction. We have to agree that if you have a capitalistic system, every other interaction within that society is based on that capitalism. Now, be it education, it will be based on that capitalism. Be it healthcare, it will be based on that capitalism. Be it politics, it will be based on that capitalism. So you understand. So the moment the culture is capitalistic and individualistic in nature, because capitalism leads to individualism, because each person is striving to survive within the society. So therefore, they become so individualistic and inward-looking. So if you look at that culture, therefore, everything else is based on, I want to succeed and get to my goals. It's not about my neighbor also should be doing this. How is that other person doing? How is that other person faring on? It's about me and my family. And that brings us to the nuclear setting of the family. In our African system, when we talk of family, I would mean cousins and brothers and half-brothers. Those are family. When you come here and when you primarily focus on family, you're referring to mother, father, and the children. Understand? So you realize that these things are not, we have adopted capitalism, but if you look at them keenly, we still have remnants of Africanity in us. And therefore, we come to a system that has no remnants whatsoever of socialism. It's a fully individualistic society. And therefore, we have to cope as a people. And that shocks our system. It shocks us in every way. Like, for example, if you go to Finland, and when I went to Finland for the first time, I realized that you can actually live with your neighbor for 5-6 years without knowing who they are. And this is a block of flats. These are apartments where your door is actually next to the other door. You open your door and the door actually leans on the other person's door. But you can live for 5, 6, 10 years without actually knowing who the person is. That's very uncommon in our system. And therefore, when we come here, we are grappling with such issues. We're grappling with such issues. Another issue is we are grappling even with work. When you go to the office in Finland, for example, in the UK, it's work. You know, you have the work relationship with the people. But when you go back to Africa, for example, in our working environment, you have the work relationship, but you find that there are other relationships that develop out of it. So however much we have adopted this wide system of the capitalistic system, you will still realize that we still have within the capitalistic system, we have enclaves of what I call the socialism system, or the African in that sense. So that's how I would describe it.
Thank you, Kenneth. That was very clear. Before I go ahead and ask you another question, let me get Walter's view to what you just told us. Walter, what can you say about what Kenneth just told us until now?
Yes, I can support what Kenneth is talking about in the aspect of individualism, where it comes as a culture shock to where you are, from where you're coming from. Because as I said, Africa, we live as a community. You can go down to your next door neighbor and ask for salt, for example. Over here, that is a rumor, is unheard of. You can't ask, I don't know who your neighbor is. I'll be honest, I don't know, up to date, I don't know who my neighbors are, where we live, because everybody keeps themselves. But that kind of culture is, you can't bring it out with the people who you find here.
That's very true, Walter.
Because that's what they're used to. That throws you to a corner where you become kind of lonely. You become lonely and separated, and trying to learn something new, a new culture which is not your culture. So you never know which way to go with that one. On the aspect of competition, we people come here to the diaspora, we end up competing. I don't know, because it's a culture which has been given to us. Like when you're in school, you always have number 1, 2, 3, 4, or it's and we never end up helping each other or supporting each other where we can. Because you see that, let's say if Lydia has a new car today, I also want a new car, but then Lydia won't tell me where to get a new car or how to go about it, so we are not supporting each other. And that's something which is very common. We don't live in a, what do you say, cohesive society supporting one another. We are very diverse and everybody wants to be an individual, whereby we cannot really achieve our goals or achieve our expectations.
Yeah.
And the friends you meet, they might use you in the sense that they might ask something of you, like lend me some money to do something, I'll give it back to you. You may never see that money in, or you start seeing it in small bits, never coming back the actual way you lent it out.
Yeah, that's very true, Walter. Thank you. Lydia, you want to add something on what Kenneth and Walter said?
I'm just saying it's a very interesting topic, because these are things that since we started the show, we've always spoken about being misled, not having proper information when you're going to diaspora, regardless of which you come from in Africa. So we come here thinking it's a land full of milk and honey, because you saw so and so go back to whatever country you come from, whether it's Nigeria or Ghana or Kenya, they go flashing with nice cars and dressing nicely, all this deception. But when you come to have that expectation as well, that okay, I'm going to like this. But when you come, just like Walter and Ken have said, spoke the culture shock, spoken about it already. When they hear individuality as well, you come here and you're by yourself because everybody's doing their thing. You go to your neighbor, and if they're talking to you, you walk in the street, you have ask a direction, nobody's even talking, because either the weather as well, the food, everything is the shock from the people, from the food, because in our countries where we come from in Africa, we're all like all the same. We all speak the same language, we all come different. And that is from people. You see your child can be disciplined by anybody in the street. You see your child misbehaving, they'll be like, wait, mama yako ni nani? They don't know your mom, they don't know your dad. They say, nitakupeleka kwenye iko wapi, they'll hold you, they'll take you where you come from, and they'll discipline you. But here, everybody to themselves, to anybody's child. So I've had people come from Africa. I've had somebody, when I used to be a youth leader in a church, and this, so it's one of the girls, she was wearing something short, and it was school skirt. Yeah. The man was so angry because he just came from Africa. He came. That was so funny. Held the child's hand, took this girl from nowhere, brought the girl to the church, and said, I want to see the parents of this child. And I was there and I was like, oh, sorry, sir, what's going on? How can you allow this child to wear? The man was so angry. And I knew where he was coming from in the African aspect of you can discipline any child. But come on, this is UK. To do that, you're not even allowed to touch anybody's child. So if I was a bad person, and I could have taken it up and say, why did you touch this child? You're not supposed to do this. You're not so things like that, all those culture shock, because you come here and the food and everything. For us, when it comes to the helping bit, I think something that it's in, I wouldn't just say it's in, I would say it's in me. Because honestly, even people in Africa or in Kenya have not traveled, but they still don't like helping. I understand why Black people in general don't like to support each other. So that one is not just a diaspora thing. That one is a Black thing. Yeah. Struggling so much is in the diaspora, and it's lack of information. We are not given the information. We are just wenda Ulaya huko kuna do, kuna chapa, utanunua gari, utanunua sijui nini. You come here, hizo pesa hakuna. Hiyo pesa ni per hour. Lazima uamke asubuhi. It's raining, snow, weather, you have to work. And then what we said last time as well, Lioness,
Yes.
is we see lawyers, we see doctors, we see musicians, we see
Yes.
engineers, people who have a very good job in Africa. Because right now, I'm not just talking Kenya. And then unaambiwa ati ukienda Ulaya, utafanya hizo kazi. And then you come here, you cannot practice law. You cannot be a doctor. You cannot do what you are doing in Africa. That big job, that white collar, either it's white collar job you are doing in Africa now in Kenya, you cannot do it anymore. So you come here, they tell you, sasa utakufagia barabara, utakufanya kazi kwa supermarket kwa till, utakwenda kwa nasi. Come on, all that. You cannot comprehend that in your head. So I have a certificate as a lawyer, and yet I'm not even allowed. I have one guy, he lives in Manchester. He was a dentist in Kenya. When he came here, shock of his life. He ended up working in the streets. So that guy is so frustrated because he cannot understand.
Lydia, did we lose you?
Oh, did you?
We are losing you, Lydia.
We are losing you, Lydia. Internet.
Okay. But I can see you. I can hear you guys.
Okay. Continue.
Yeah, so I think what we need to do as people in the diaspora to help the situation a little bit is to speak the truth. To speak the truth to our people in Africa, not yet. Is to speak the price of going there, flashing this, that with your 1 per hour money. When you want to start struggling from scratch, just because you wanted to show off things that material things are not even, it doesn't matter. You go to Kenya, you go to that inaitwaje Kempinski Hotel. You want to show off that you can. While you're in London, you cannot even afford to go to Harrods to buy anything. All your things, you buy all your things probably in Primark. Example, I'm not saying Primark is bad. I do buy my things in Primark, but for me, if I go to Kenya, it's not. Oh, I bought this in flashing and showing off. So I think there's a lot to work on. We have a lot to create awareness. We have a lot of awareness to create awareness out there as people who are, we need to use our forums and speak to people. It does not matter. Going to Africa and lying to people, because then they will come with that mentality of, yes, I want to flash this like like Walter, like Lioness. And then when they come, they get that culture shock. That's not how it is. So I think we need to use our platforms and educate people in the truth of the matter is, it is not that rosy. Stop lying to people.
Yes, exactly, my sister Lydia. You are telling it as it is. That's why we started this program, this talk show, so that we can create this awareness out there to the people who are maybe watching from us from Africa, from Asia, who have not gone abroad. They have to know what is happening in abroad. It's not a bed of roses. It's not a party in the park. A walk in the park. We are struggling here to make things happen. To make lives better for ourselves, for our families, for our loved ones. This is why we created this show, Life Abroad, every Sunday. Okay, so Kenneth, to my experience, I did experience all this that we are talking about. Okay, I came with that mentality. I said, okay, now I'm in a place. We're abroad. There are Kenyans here, and I went to 1 or 3 parties, Kenyan parties, and we met Kenyans. And I thought, I've met a Ghana person. I've met a Nigerian person. Maybe we can link up all together and make Africa, the small Africa together and stay together. So I started also trying to make, get-togethers. Like an African community. The first one worked out very well. It was in my house, I remember, and my house was like a small Africa. It was like a small Africa, and I was very proud and happy. I said, "Wow, this is what we're supposed to be doing," But now when I tried to make the other one, I think my Kenyan people started, you know, sending out negative vibes to the other African communities, you know. And that thing did not happen again. Yeah, that is just an example. That thing did not happen again. And then later, when years gone by, I said, why? You know, starting talking to people, I understood there were some, you know, going on inside among the people, and they talk negativity about me, and that thing failed. Yeah, and it was very bad to understand that this thing came from my Kenyan people. Yeah. And then another thing, when I came also, misinformation, not, I don't know if it's misinformation, but people did not want to give me the right information of what to do, so that I can go to the next step ahead. Yeah. So I had to fight on my own at the last minute. I had to fight on my own. I had to go crazy, you know, to fight on my own. And later, yeah, I reached some people, and they told me, why didn't your Kenyan brother tell you this, or your Kenyan sister tell you this? Because she has done this and she was successful. Why didn't she tell you that? Yeah, Brother Kenneth, are we together?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the problem? Why do we tend to be so, I don't know, selfish, so self-centered, so that we can help each other? For me, I've helped even people from not Kenya only, from Ghana, from Nigeria. Yeah, me just meeting them on the way, only with information. Yeah. And also finding my way through to hold that person's hand and tell you, let me take you to that office. This is where you get help. This is where you get your papers done. This is where you get this. This is where you get that. Why is it so hard for us to share these things? You know, civilized manner, and I become a millionaire? No. Yeah? Brother Kenneth, what do you say about this?
Interesting what you went through.
Yeah.
I have to say that there are certain deep issues that we have to deal with as Africans, and sometimes it could be the simplicity with which we look at them that brings a problem. I believe that as Africans, we are dealing with a lot of things that sometimes we may not mention all the time, or we may not mention them in our daily lives. But you know that as Africans, we deal with so many problems. We have what I would call the continental trauma, what I would call the national trauma, whatever it is. First of all, let's begin from the fact that making an Africa in Europe. Now, that was a good attempt, but one of the major issues that we have faced is bringing together Africans in Europe. And one thing I've always told people that not just because somebody is melanated, not just because somebody has a black skin, means that you are in the same team. Not just that somebody has a black skin means that they have your best interests at heart. It's not just that you have the same skin tone means you are heading the same direction in life. So we have to realize that's the first thing I began with. We have to realize that when we come abroad, yeah, the people we are in Africa will not remain in Africa. That's why I say it doesn't remain there. We carry ourselves here to the diaspora. And why does that happen? Now let's begin from the fact that Africa was divided. The countries we know today were not our countries. So this is the physical thing we see. We see the physical borders that we have now, but we are forgetting that these physical borders have brought up psychological borders in our own identity as a people. It has brought up what we call identity borders in our own, the way we see ourselves, you know, the perspective in which we see ourselves. And that's why when you see a Nigerian, they will always say, oh, you are Kenyan. Oh, Kenyans always behave like this. When you see another Kenyan, they say, oh, you're Nigerian. Oh, I expected you to steal from me, or I expected you to be a con man. You understand? So we don't realize the deep effects and the deep trauma that the scramble for Africa and the partition of Africa brought on us as a people. It's not just the physical borders that we have today, but those physical borders have created psychological borders within us and mental borders too. So each time you want to start any kind of project with people across the board, they always have to question your intentions. They always have to question your nature. They always have to think of all the stereotypes they've had about your country, which is not something we created on our own. This is something that was created for us. So you can see that what we were given has divided us apart, even in terms of how we deal with each other. And that's why even as we speak right now, we don't have a united Africa, because everyone is looking at the other with suspicion. Now, if you come to the diaspora, the same thing persists. Yeah, everyone is looking at each other with suspicion. They're like, okay, people say this is how Nigerians are. People say this is how Kenyans are. People say this is how Ghanaians are. How am I going to work with them? And therefore, when you start working with them, you are starting from a point whereby you are expecting something negative to happen. You are expecting something bad to happen because you don't trust them. And without trust, you can't build any organization that will formulate or look like Africa in diaspora. That's number one. Number two, when you say that people they talk, they don't give information. Now, this is one of the biggest issues we've had. The support we need from each other is actually not financial. I was talking to somebody about this 2 days ago. The support we need from each other is not financial. It is not materialistic. The support we need from each other is just knowing that, at my back, I have Lydia, I have Walter, I have Anna. They're supporting me, they're rooting for me, and they want me to succeed. Number one, that's what we don't have that. Yeah. The second thing we need is information. When you come to a new country, sometimes you go to a country and you don't even know the language. How do you even get along? So it becomes so difficult to go through the system. By the time you learn the language and learn the system and how things operate, it's taken so much time. While we have people who have been there, they speak the languages, for example, they understand the system. If it's in the UK, for example, they understand this system and how it works. Yeah. And they are ready. They're not ready to give you the information that you want. But you know the funny thing? If another person who is of a different skin tone asks them for the same information, they will give it.
Exactly.
Do you know why? Because at the end of the day, whatever I was telling you that we have trauma, we are dealing with what we call self-loathing. Anything that looks like us is not loved. Anything that looks like us is a competition. And that is a system that was put in place by somewhere to make sure that we never come together, because when you come together, you are power. When people come together, they have formidable power. Now, I was just a few hours ago, I was listening to someone say that, when you meet different people from different countries, for example, if you meet white people in Kenya, let me just say, they have, I'm always direct with these issues. They have what we call a code of conduct. It's not spoken, it's not written anywhere, but they know, if you meet me somewhere and I'm dealing with an issue, help me. There is no written law about it. They will meet in the presence of a black person, and they will be they have a code within themselves that they will support each other to succeed within that particular system. They won't tell you, they won't talk to you, but you know what? They won't even have to ask each other. They'll just ask, oh, what are you doing here? What have you been doing? What's the project up to? They are interested in knowing what are they doing as a team, because they know as a team they're going to beat you.
Yeah.
And that's why they sat down and divided Africa amongst themselves equally and well, because they had that code. Now, when we come to the diaspora, we lack that code. Yeah. So you meet as a black people in a party, for example, or in your house, as you say, Anna. People meet together, they are all black people. But within that meeting, there are divisions. There's no code. There's no positive energy between them. All of them are looking at each other's vision. And therefore, everyone wants to keep the information they have about the system to themselves. Because they think that if they give the information, you're going to be a nurse, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a dentist in this system, you're going to earn a lot of money, and you're going to be better than them. So that's one big problem. So we are always thinking this person is going to be better than me. But the funny thing that we also don't realize is that however much we are in this system, every neighbor who is of a different skin tone or from a different region is better than us. The information that we hide and withhold, we never make it and succeed properly in that system. But why? Because as an individual isolated in a particular system, you do not have the power to make it on your own. You are much more powerful if 10 of you have the same information and you're pushing the same agenda and towards the same direction. Because sometimes when you bring people on board, they may have skills and knowledge that you don't have and help you go through stages that you are not able to go through, even with that information that you are hiding. So that lack of code and positivity within us becomes a big problem. And I believe at the bottom and at the heart of it is the scarcity mindset. We as a people believe that everything is scarce, which is not true. In Africa, when we were coming up before colonialism and stuff, we believed there was abundance, that the universe provided for us. We never went without food. We never went without clothes. Our neighbors never went without food. If somebody lost their parents, they were absorbed into a new family. When I was growing up, we had orphans in our family, taken to school, eating every single day. Nobody questions that. Yeah. But since things have changed so much, people believe in this scarcity mindset, whereby they think that if Lydia is a millionaire, I won't be a millionaire. It's a big issue. The scarcity mindset is a big issue. And now, as a finance person who does financial coaching, one of the things I don't talk finance most of the time. I tell them, you know what? If you do not change your mindset about the belief of money, there's nowhere you're going to go to. Because money only comes to those who are actually willing to give and willing to give information. But most of our people are not willing to give information. So it becomes a big issue because we are always thinking that we don't have enough money in the system. Trust to me, for example, in the US right now, they say that an average Black household is $150,000 lower than an average white household in wealth. Now that tells you something. It means that, but remember, we have billionaire Black people. We have multi-millionaire Black people. Why don't they always uplift their own? It means that those who become billionaires and millionaires, they segregate and leave those who are low. And that's what happens in diaspora, for example. The moment you make it, for example, and when you make it in this system, you want to stay with those people up there and leave me down here. But one thing again, you have to realize that you will never be accepted up there. They give you just the opportunity to be up there for as long as they want to. But when they want to bring you back down to your level, they will bring you back to your level. But if you pull it up to your level, you have security of where you are, because we are many people. And therefore, if you want to change certain policies that are unfair, for example, in a job place, we can't do it. But if you're alone and you're the only CEO Black person, and you're keeping every Black person down as a cleaner, if they are fighting you in the boardroom and abusing you and insulting you, then you have no one to protect you. You come down back to where you are. So we must realize, we must change our mindset and know that we have power when we are many. And that you can be a millionaire, I can be a millionaire. It doesn't take away from us. How many white people are billionaires? It doesn't take away from us there. But why do we think that Lydia is a millionaire, I won't be a millionaire?
And that's what we always say about mindset, Loudness. We always talk about mindset. Because mindset is big. Once you change your mindset, it's not, and helping people, like Ken say, it's not money, it's just information, Lioness. It's just information. By giving somebody information, you've made somebody rich because you've changed somebody's life. And I have some comments here. Somebody say that jealousy, somebody say jealousy, my dear. We Black people need to wake up, period. Yes, I think the jealousy in the Black community is more than jealousy. It's too deep. We cannot just check it out one day. And that's why we still need to create awareness that, look, just like Ken said, just the fact that one person is a millionaire does not prevent you from being a millionaire. Because if you're up there, you need someone to talk to, you need somebody to sell to your products to. So because these white people, they will not buy your product, they'll buy their own people's product. So we need to be there together. So that is what somebody said. And then someone said that, and we cry Black Lives Matter, but it doesn't matter when it comes to your brothers and sisters, which is 100% correct. In fact, I was talking to somebody yesterday about George Floyd, and he said the relationship George Floyd has in Africa is so deep because in Africa, all those big companies are held by white people. It's white people who have all those big companies. Us, we are just either managers for them, cleaners for them, working for them. But when you look at this company, who owns this company is a white person. I was shocked after this George Floyd thing happened, and they were checking all the companies, even hair products for Black people. Who owns those companies? The white person is the one that owns the company, and they own this company and then sell it to us as Black people. And the reason why, and my friends say that I cannot believe is so deep, because we as Africans, we cannot believe, because those people are holding our neck with all the companies. The wealth in Africa belongs to them. And if we decide now to have those wealth, to chase them away and have those wealth ourselves, will we support each other? Will the business grow or will the business drop? Do you understand? So we really need that. George Floyd thing is so deep. When my friend was telling me yesterday, I was like, wow, this is so deep. It is so deep. So somebody spoke about the Black Lives Matters, and yes, the person is right. If we are crying the Black Lives Matters, and we ourselves, I don't care about you, Ken. I don't care about you, Walter. I don't care about you. But yet I'm in the streets, Black Lives Matters. Which one matters? What matters? Which one? Which life? Do you understand? If Ken's life matters means nothing to me, and I'm there crying Black Lives Matter. So it should start from we should matter first. It should have a meaning. That word Black Lives Matters, to me personally, right now, between the Black people, it does not have a meaning.
Yeah, exactly.
And then somebody said, just to reassure you, my sister, be happy when people talk about you. It's a sign that you are doing something positive. So don't give up because of that. Yeah. Walter, would you like to answer that, please?
To the comment or to add on to everything?
The comment or add on or answer that. Even though you're not a sister, but I think she's talking about everybody collectively.
Everybody, yeah, in general, yeah.
Now, I'll just add on to a few points that you've all mentioned. Like for Lioness, you said you started a group together. I tried doing the same, and it worked out when I was in the university. Then as I tried going to the bigger community, the Kenyan community, everybody puts you down and nobody really wants to come and join in that vision that you have. One thing I think is maybe from where we come from, we have too much division in our tribalism, which plays a big factor in our lives. I give my personal experience. When I came here, I had to move out after the college and stay in a house. Now I had to stay with some my friends who are Kikuyu. So when you're talking of mindset, first of all, I was fearing, I'm a Luo and the Kikuyus, how are we going to get along? But trust me, those are my brothers, and up to today, we are very great friends. So what has been impacted in us is a negative mindset. But once you move your mindset to be positive, everything is fine. And when it comes to information, we don't give information easily to our brothers. Yeah. For me, I found to get information easily from my friends who have been Chinese, who are from Nigeria. But when it comes to Kenyans who already know something, they won't even share with you. They'll pretend they have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. Those informations that come from people who you don't know, even you're not even related to, even is not from your nation. Those people are just God sent. Me, I always say they're just God. That's God's glory shining, your way somehow. You just meet somebody and gives you a whole, information like this, and you wonder, who is this person? Who is this? And why didn't Lydia or Kenneth or Walter tell me this thing? And I met them last week, and I was asking about this information. And now you meet this Chinese person and gives you this kind of information, and you just see everything. A door just opened, just like that. Those people are just, they're from God. They're God sent. They're those angels that are sent to you. Yeah, they're just angels that are sent to you. I will always say that, because I've met this kind of people on my way also, through the journey here in diaspora. Kenneth, we are back again. This issue is too wide. You always say, Lydia, it's very wide. We cannot even finish these topics in an hour, in an hour. So here we are again. Yeah. I remember also, I'll give you an experience so that we may from there. The ambassador, the new elected ambassador, I remember some years back, came to my place here, to my city, and talked to Kenyans. They sat down, we talked, and they said, I want you guys to come together and come up with an association here, a Kenyan association here. Yeah, as simple as that. When you are through, invite me, I will come and help you guys to go ahead with the association and everything. So the elected president, the elected assistant president at that time, things did not work out. Things did not work out completely. I don't know. Okay, there was a Luo and a Kikuyu, but I don't think that was the issue, because at the end of the day, we did one meeting. The second, I was appointed as a secretary. I was appointed as a secretary. I went to the first meeting. I took notes and everything. The second meeting, I was not called. And I came to hear that the meeting took place. And I asked, why wasn't I called for the meeting? You know, nobody was answering me, you know, nobody was answering me. And I came to realize the same Kenyans, they know each other. Like Lydia knows personally Kenneth, and Kenneth knows personally Lydia or Walter, you know. Lydia, utaniambia nini wewe na mimi nakujua wewe umetoka sijui pale ni pale nyumba yenu pale sijui iko vipi sijui mamako anakaa vipi baba anakaa vipi, you know, those kind of details, yeah, that could not make the association. Until now, we don't have an association where I am. Kenneth,
Okay.
help me out to understand, because I don't understand, because these things are for us to move forward and to benefit us here in diaspora.
Okay. I have to be now honest on this issue. I've spoken about 3 things, but now this is all about power. Now, I told you that we are dealing with much deeper issues when it comes to our people. And this situation you're talking about is about power. We have a problem with power too. And we have a problem with power because of, again, this is the remnant of colonialism, which we have persisted with. Right now, I would say we are also perpetuating it ourselves. We haven't actually tried to address the issues of power relations. Now, what is power? Power is basically having influence over somebody's decisions. You can have influence over someone's way of life, what they do, what they don't do, what they say, what they don't say. You have power over them. So when we talk about power relations, when it comes to us as Africans, there's a way power came to us at a time we did not expect through colonialism, and power was exerted upon us ruthlessly by the colonial masters. And after power was exerted upon us ruthlessly, and we saw our leaders diminish and killed and done all the wrong things, and slavery also took away that power, we therefore saw the benefits of power. It meant that if you are in a position of power, then you are able to do what you want at any time you want, and you are able to make other people do what you want at any time you want and how you want it. Now, that kind of influence became a desire for most of us. Now, when colonialists left, our leaders who took over exalted the same power with the same level or even worse ruthlessness on our people. Now, when I was growing up, for example, I knew that the politicians were powerful. I knew that the police was powerful. I knew that the government was powerful, and I could not go against them. And you can't even, sometimes you could not even speak against them. Yeah. So that kind of power, I therefore grew up thinking, oh, maybe I should strive to get this power too. And when you get that power, you also want to do the same thing. Now, power is on different levels. I'm talking about, you know, the racial power here and the government power, but power comes all the way to the family level. Now, since we were so much dominated at that high level and did not have any chance to get there, you therefore exalted power at the level you are in. And therefore, in the family level, you could find that, for example, the father would exert too much power sometimes. So they exercise that power in a very ruthless manner. And therefore, a child is growing up knowing that, you know what, when I get my own home, I want to be this powerful too. I want to make sure people do what I wanted, when I want it, and how I want it. Again, you bring it to the family level. Therefore, the children grow up knowing, you know what, it's good to actually have power. But now, it doesn't matter the level of power. It just means get an opportunity to sit on someone. Simply like that.
So we inherit the wrong behaviors. Are you saying?
So we have inherited the wrong behaviors, and we are perpetuating it. Now, when we come to the diaspora, most of us still have the desire to be in a powerful position, and therefore, even in a bid, because in diaspora the system is so close that chances of you coming to the diaspora and being a political leader or being in a high office as a CEO are very slim. Where do you exert your power? Where you have it. Let me give you an example. In Finland, we have Nigerians. Most of them are most Africans, they are Nigerians, and you could find that these cleaning companies are quite many and dominated by Africans. Some of them now have supervisors who are Nigerians because the system was still so close in Finland that even within the cleaning community, you can't even make it to be a supervisor. So when a Nigerian makes it to be a supervisor in a cleaning company, and everyone under them is an African from Kenya, from Ghana, from Sierra Leone, from Congo, they exert proper power.
But I don't have it.
Now they feel that they have the opportunity to exercise the power that has been exercised on them since they were children, in the house, in the school, in the church, in the government system, and every single place they went to. But now they have the power to exercise some power on you. And the most possible and accessible person to exercise that power on will be a Black person in a diaspora community. So that's why if you want to form an association, it becomes a problem, because everyone wants to have access to that power so that they have the chance to exercise that power on the rest of the people.
Everybody wants the title.
It's all about the title. And that's why, like Lydia says, that's why all of us in our systems, we are always going for the titles. We are always going for the title, because that title gives you that sense of power. Sometimes even money is not there, but you just want to be able to tell Lydia, keep quiet, and she does it. So the power relations has been, but it's something that's so deep that if we are going to deal with it, we also have to formulate a very proper educational structure. We have to change our educational system. We have to change how we relate with our parents for us to break it down. But for now, it's one of the most difficult things.
So are you saying, Kenneth, that we cannot change our mindset here in diaspora? We have to go back to our roots and try and change it from there, or it can be changed from here now?
I'm saying it's going to be difficult. I'm saying it's going to be difficult. But for example, myself, I've changed my mindset a lot. I'm not saying that I've been perfect, but I can tell you categorically, I've grown a whole lot. Now, this is what I always tell people. When you come to the diaspora, allow people like Lydia who have been in the diaspora for a long time, if you get a new person who has just come, allow them to experience the culture shock. Allow them to experience that phase. It's like an adolescent stage, yeah? You allow the child to go through the adolescent stage.
Yeah, but we don't, sorry, Kenneth, we don't allow in a way that we sit back and just watch that person, you know, you know, like an example, you say, no, that child to just go into a hole, you know, we have to be there to give guidance.
Yeah, you are right. My dad used to tell me when I was a boy that adolescence is a good thing, but it can also destroy your whole life completely.
Exactly.
So you have to be careful to the level in which you take it. So you're very right. Of course, we're not going to just sit down and allow them. No, we will have conversations with them. We will always talk with them. But however much they're doing it, we also have to be very patient and know that this is just a phase. Now, it can go overboard. And that's where we come in. We come in to constrain, bring them back online a little bit, educate them, tell them, you know what, we are all here. We're just trying to survive. And you know what is most important is your identity. Try to teach them their identity. Try to tell them, you know what, the most important thing is where you come from, because where you are right now, people don't support you as much as where you come from. So give them a sense of identity, give them a sense of community. Now, when they belong, the problem is sometimes when these people come in, they don't have any contact with those people who are established. And therefore, they're allowed to run wild with their adolescent stage, in quotes. They're running wild, and therefore, sometimes they go too far, and it becomes a problem bringing them back in. But if they come in and we can access them, and we have associations like the one you're talking about, whereby they come in and they find us a community. They may try resisting for a while, but trust you me, most of the time they resist. But if you persist with your association, they will always find their way back here. Always home is best, and this is the home day. So those people who are established must have a way in which they can guide these people who come afresh. And yes, the mindsets can change, because people who are established, people like Lydia, for example, who has been here for a while, myself as I'm running for now almost 5 years or so, I am more established. I know what to do, and I also know that the most important identity for me is the one I left back at home. I don't have any other. This one is a temporary one, and I have to create my own identity within this particular system, because I don't have any identity here.
Yeah, which is very hard for us to live. You know, we are living. You know, we are two-faced. You know, here in diaspora. You know.
And
it's the most difficult thing. People have to understand that these things, they happen in diaspora. We're living a very difficult life. Yes, my sister Lydia, what are you saying?
Yeah, I wanted to say just what Ken was saying about adolescence, and just relate it to what you said last time with regards to the girls that come in and they start doing things on Facebook, showing their naked bodies. And that phrase, I really totally agree with you, Lioness. That phrase, we should now step in, even though they're going through their stage, but we should step in and direct them, show them the right direction, because what like what we've seen, that they come here and then because of everything, culture shock, there's no job, they don't have papers, blah, blah, blah. They start misbehaving on Facebook, getting
and
drunk.
misinformation as usual, my sister leader,
Yes.
misinformation.
Yes.
Because the older ones, the older women here are the ones who are driving these young girls mad with this kind of information. You know, when you come, you can do prostitution, you can get yourself a white man, and you know you will succeed. But they don't know those years you're wasting your life. You know, you're basically wasting your life, your time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You get yourself in a relationship because you of material things. It will not succeed. You know, you'll be frustrated all the 4 years, 5 years you're here. You're waiting maybe for your document. It will. Some of them don't even finish that term. They don't even get those papers. You know, they get divorced. They don't get papers, and now they start hitting the road properly. They start hitting the road properly, and we are not forgetting even drugs. You know, we are coming back to drugs. We are coming back to alcoholism, and everything just hits. And these people, they just go like that. You know.
So just to finish with, the comments. I just wanted to because I know I asked Walter, but he didn't answer. About some people are talking about you. It's a sign. Yes, it's a sign. That's Cecilia Muko, and I know she always have her own shows as well. And she's a very powerful, a woman of substance in the community. And yes, it's good when people are talking about it that you've made it. But at the same time, some people are not strong mentally. Some people, if you talk about them mentally, they're not strong, they're not in that place yet. So if you talk about them, you destroy them regardless of. I know, like in my face, I always write things of don't let anybody define you. And you know, sometimes we read things, but we don't allow them to sink in our subconscious. It will not happen. So when somebody posting about it because you're doing good things, it can totally break you and destroy you. Because some people are not in that place. They are strong mentally. You see, you, Lioness, or myself, or Ken and Walter, we're in that place that if you talk about us, we don't care. You understand? But some people really care. So that's why it's not good to just open your mouth. Think before you speak. And there's also somebody who said, preach it. That is good. And Cecilia said, true. That's why you need to hold on your vision and passion and be ready to die for it. I understand that. And I think that part is when you have a vision and something, when you start sharing it out there before it matures, when they say you're pregnant, you know, my friends, I have a lot of Nigerian friends, when they're pregnant and you ask them, when is the baby coming? They say, what's your own? You see when the baby comes, they will not tell you because they're holding on to that until they have. But with us, we start giving dates. On the 29th of November, the doctor say at 2 a.m. So so what she's trying to say is when you have a vision or something, hold it until it matures. So hold your pregnancy until you get to that labor. They'll see that baby, like Nigerians say, what is your own? You see the baby when the baby arrives. So that is what we should do with when you have something. And then we also have somebody who said, or somebody said also, including the jack chicken, which I was really shocked because this George Floyd death has brought so many things into light. Jack chicken belongs to a white person. It belongs to a white person. When my daughter told me that, I was totally shocked. But this girl said it here as well. And then she said, somebody also said, the reason why she goes to Choma Zone, I know Choma Zone is in Slough, somewhere it is in Slough. She said, because the owner is, now I think she's relating to what Walter said. She said that she's a Luo herself, but she said the owner of Choma Zone, I know the owner of Choma Zone, he's a Kikuyu, and he treated them so well. There was no difference of this from this tribe or from this tribe. And that's why she goes back to Choma Zone all the time. So Choma Zone, we've actually big up your Choma Zone, your Nyama Choma.
Exactly.
And it's very good. I've been there, so it's very good. And somebody also said, the point is when passion drives you, you will employ emotional intelligence to overcome all that. So if passion drives you, I think she's relating to what Ken said as well. So if passion drives you, you'll employ emotional intelligence to overcome all the things that people that we go through all the time. And then that's why we need to mentor. That's where we need to mentor. So we need mentors. Again, I'm thinking is what Ken was saying about adolescents and everything. That is why we need to mentor. We need to mentor others that come behind us.
Yeah.
So yeah, so those are the comments. Yeah. And also people who are watching, sorry, Linus, people who are watching, I just want to tell you to share, please. Share, comment, like, say something, because then this is also going to help somebody. So don't sit with the information and see this good topic and say, I'm not going to share because I don't want so-and-so to listen to it. Or I don't want so-and-so to. Please, guys, share it and let's educate and create awareness to our wider community as a Black community out there.
That is very true, Sister Lydia. That is very true, Sister Lydia, because even last time we talked about depression, and then after 2 days, I saw somebody online from Kenya. He was asking about depression. I tagged him on our post and I said, please listen to this because we tackled depression just last Sunday. That was a very good thing because I said, look, at least we can save one person, because this person was asking, how does one deal with depression? You know, if somebody asks that, we don't know the depth of his position at that time. Yeah.
Yes.
And I tagged him on the post and said, please just go through it and, you know, take your time to listen to what we talked about, because we had Dr. Pamela from the United States also on that program. Yeah. Yeah. Walter, do you want to add something before we go back to Kenneth?
Yes. What I wanted to add is sometimes people don't know where to go. So if anybody's out there, they can share this and you can reach out to somebody. Yes. Because when you've left home, live as an individual, and you find a strange world, which, let's say when you're at home, you're with your family and everybody else around you. But now, as you say, you have that freedom where if you want to go out to the clubs, if you want to go and meet other people, there's nobody really there to stop you. Like if you're there with your parents and everyone else, but now you're on your own and you're there and you're like, it's a different culture whereby you're your own boss, you're your own person. And, sometimes people take the wrong direction. As you mentioned, that people don't even finish their 3, 4, 5 years, which they were meant to do here. They end up not achieving their goals. So please, if you're out there, you're listening, you can reach out to any one of us and we can see what we can do.
Yeah, thank you, Walter. Thank you, Walter. Thank you, Walter. Those who are joining right now, this is the Life Abroad talk show. Every Sunday, it happens every Sunday. Today we changed the time to 6:30 UK time, 7:30 Europe, that is Germany, Italy, I think Belgium, Holland, and Kenyan time we talk about 8:30. Okay, today we change it to this time because Lydia said that we have our friends from United States that need also time to join in this program. So today we were tackling about relationships and also friendship and everything that includes that, you know, under that topic. And we had the opportunity to have Kenneth Kaunda Ouko, a great name. A great name. He's from Finland. He's joining us. He's a Kenyan. And we have Walter again today, Walter Onunga. So people just continue to share, continue to comment. And Lydia, can you confirm to me the time left for us?
Yeah, we still have 15 minutes.
Okay, we still have time. We can talk a lot. We can talk a lot. We can talk a lot. So yeah. Kenneth, we have tackled, you know, our relationships here in diaspora, we as foreigners, we as Kenyans here in diaspora, the difficulties, all of us, we have an experience. You can see, all of us, we have an experience with this topic. We have a lot of encounters with this topic. So let's go. You're a businessman. Let's go also and look at businesses in diaspora. Why can't I come and support your business? Why should I go to the other one to support the business? Why can't I come to you, Kenneth?
Simple question is, you can't come to me because I'm going to beat you or you're going to build me. That's the simplest answer. But a more deep, concerted answer is that we have now the most important thing we have to discuss. Lydia said something from the comments. Somebody I think mentioned something to do with economic power of people. And they tied it to Black Lives Matter, which I would want to address later. But now let me address the issue of businesses. Now, in the diaspora, first of all, the system is designed in a way that it's not easy for us to start businesses, but we have very industrial and entrepreneurial people who manage to start businesses here in the diaspora. First of all, that's a big step. And as a people, we have to commend those who actually start businesses in diaspora, because it's not easy to actually enter a separate system, a completely different system, and start a business that's functional. Now, that's one thing. We have to recognize their efforts and commend them for it. Now, that's very important. But number two, we have the issue of support. Now, this is much deeper. All the issues we are fighting right now, like I told you, everything, capitalism is built on financial success. It's built on labor, it's built on voluntary exchange, it's built on profits, it's built on monetary benefits and progress in terms of financial independence and such. So we have to realize that this system, everything we're talking about is built on an economic platform. When you left home and came to Europe, I'm sure the desire was of an economic betterment, and not political, not social, nothing else.
Yeah.
We are trying to change your economic situation because we believe somehow that the economic environment will be more favorable to us. Now, we have to also realize that the same system may not be so willing to give somebody from somewhere an opportunity to thrive so much, because then it means they're allowing people from somewhere to come and take their ownership. Because business is about ownership. It's ownership of capital, it's ownership of labor, and it's ownership or taking of profits.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why some people, we cannot support each other is because we do not realize as Black people that our power lies in our economic strength. And that's the most important thing. And I'm a financial coach, so this is like right down my street. It is extremely important to first know the importance of economics on the wealth. If wealth revolves in a particular community, chances are that they can have control in terms of politics and even social issues. So Black people haven't, just the main answer to your question is that we haven't realized that every single thing in our lives is dependent on our economic situation. And like I said before, we cannot succeed economically as an individual to the level whereby you influence policies. That's why we need more people. Because if you come to a particular system whereby you want to support businesses, supporting a business is not just buying what you're selling. It could also be people coming together to actually push for policies that are favorable to your type of business. People coming together to push for policies that would make your business diminish or go down. So you need people not only to buy, you need labor, you need people to purchase, like you say, and you also need people to push for certain policies within an environment. They will create an environment for you. Because if you are one person, one Black person, and you have a shop in a predominantly Indian area, they will take you down with time. And they will take over your business. That's what they do. I know particular places in the UK where Indians and maybe people from other Asian countries have completely taken the streets. But why? Yeah, they dominate completely. They sell everything. And some of the things they sell are originally African stuff. We Africans go to their shops to buy things that we can actually bring ourselves and sell.
Yeah.
We will find Nigerians, for example, flocking an Arabic shop to buy fufu or to buy those things that they buy, potatoes, plantains, shaki. So you find that these people are flocking, but why? Why don't you think that Nigerians have the capacity to have the same shops? Because they have the numbers, they have the knowledge, they have the skills. What do they lack? They lack support.
Togetherness.
Unity. We lack togetherness. So as long as we Black people do not realize that our economic situation is not about me just being a millionaire. You can walk as fast as you want, but you won't go far. But if you want to go far, you have to work with people. So if you're working alone to be a millionaire, you're going to be a millionaire at some point, but you won't be a billionaire. You won't exploit your full potential because you've left your people, you've left people behind.
Yeah, exactly. That is the important thing.
In the UK, and I bring Lydia and I tell Lydia, there's this shop open next door, and Lydia, you have a radio show. Okay, take this house and bring a radio show here. Already you're bringing people together. People will be coming to the radio show to greet Lydia. They come to my shop to buy a few things. They go to the next shop, somebody is selling some clothes from Africa. They go to the next shop, somebody is selling some beads from Africa. But we have to think that way. Economic revolution is about thinking. It's not about just thinking. It's about thinking that, you know what, if Lydia is making it, I'm going to make it. If Lydia is selling insurance, you know what, if I buy from her insurance, I'm building her. And that will be in a position to build someone else or continue being in the business to bring more Black people into the insurance industry.
Yeah, exactly.
Understand? But if we do not open our minds and think of it that way, and if we sustain the mindset of competition and scarcity, then we can't get anywhere, because then it means you are always looking at everything from the lens of competition, from the lens of someone who is Imagine I don't even know, before I came to the UK, I didn't know Lydia. She could be a millionaire for all I care. Why do I care now that I have met her? Why do I care what she's succeeding at? Because initially, when I came to diaspora, I was going to be a billionaire. Anne was going to be a billionaire. Walter was going to be a billionaire. Lydia was working towards being a billionaire. All of us separately. But now when we come together, instead of us doing these dreams and goals and objectives together and sharing and helping each other, we start suspecting that the other person wants to beat us. Beat you in what? This person was running their own race before you did them.
Yeah.
And the other person was running their own race before you did them. So actually, when you look at it logically, we have fears as Black people. We have really deep fears. And those fears are unfounded, because honestly, if I don't know Anne, whatever she's doing to be a millionaire does not affect me. So it means if we come together with the same mindset that what you are doing won't affect me, then we will build together and make a proper and progressive economic foundation.
In fact, I think maybe when you know what she's doing or what he's doing at that time, and it should encourage you, you know, it should encourage you, and not have the sense of now I have to be in a competition mood with Lydia or Kenneth or Walter, you know. I should be in a mood of cooperation for me also to reach that point. Or, you know, if you're a positive-minded person, the mindset.
We also have to realize that, you know what, another problem we have as Black people is that when we go to Lydia, for example, if Lydia is selling a cloth, we want to bargain Lydia out of business because we know Lydia. Instead of actually spending more on Lydia, we bargain out of Lydia. But then when we go to a bigger shop, like Marks and Spencer, you don't bargain. You find the cloth there. It is costing you 200 pounds or 400 pounds. You take that 400 pounds, even if you have 399 pounds, you will not go and ask me, let me sell it for a lesser price. But when you come to Lydia's business, that is just starting off down the street, you want to get something as cheap as possible, and even on credit that you won't pay for. And if Lydia refuses to give you that credit, for example, you go and say, you know what, that shop is shit. And therefore you make other Black people not build Lydia. So we have a mentality problem. We have to change our mindset towards one another. And it goes back to ourselves.
Just talking about that, I just want to, sorry, Lioness, I just want to, first of all, let me read what somebody have written. Somebody's just laughing, saying, bargain Lydia out of business. This guy so much a joke. And then somebody said, well done, Lydia, but me, I will say, well done, the team, because it's someone who knows me personally. And then we also have Emma, who said mental health is real. I think she should watch what we did last week with Dr. Pamela, because she gave us points that we didn't even know about mental illness. And then she said a lot of people are going through so much, especially in this COVID-19 period, and they need, we all need to be together. But this one is more, is so much far from COVID-19, because this has been happening before, it's happening now, and that's why we need to use our platforms. People like Cecilia Mugo, who has a platform, we all need to use our platform to create awareness. But just going back to what Ken said, one day I was going to receive an award, and it was Teens Award, and that award I really valued because it came from the teenagers. And we were sitting in this table, and I was talking to this lady. I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, this woman ignored me. She didn't want to talk to me. She didn't want to know. And I was thinking, what have I done? I don't know what I've done to her. So I just thought, you know what, let me just need to ignore her. And then they called my name to receive an award. When they now started reading my profile, the woman was shocked. When I came back, she started saying, oh, in fact, I wanted the founder of Kenya in the park. I was looking for the founder of Kenya and Friends in the park, because do you think I spoke to her? I did not speak to her, because I thought, you know what, now you want to talk to me because you know who I am. But you should talk to me even when you don't
because
know
now
who I
there's the power.
Yeah, you should talk to me because I'm human, not because of what I am, but because of who I am. And that's the mistake we do. We just want to talk to people because of who they are, not because of what they are. What are you? What have you achieved in life? That's why I want to talk to you, because of what you are, but not because of who you are. And who am I? It's Lydia. This Lydia, talk to me, not what I am. So that lady, that day when I came home, I told my children, I was like, I was shocked and petrified, because she's a so-called community leader, but she didn't want to know me until they called me and they gave a profile of who I was. That's when she now wanted to associate herself with me. And that is what we do. That is what a lot of us do. And even talking about bringing someone down, look at Kenya and Friends in the Park example. It used to be free. The day we said it's 10 pounds, 10 pounds. We almost had everybody heart attack. How are you charging 10 pounds? But yet we have this thing every year of when you're going to see fireworks, and it's 100 pounds, 60 pounds.
Wow.
People pay, and I've seen Kenyans going to see fireworks when they're paying 100 pounds, 60 pounds.
Leave alone that, Lydia. They go and see other artists from other countries and they pay 40 pounds, 50 pounds.
Yes. But when it comes to now, the Lioness is performing, let's pay 10 pounds. No, why am I paying 10 pounds to go and see Lioness?
We are going, that is a topic for another day, my sister, okay?
And then somebody said, for the issue of mental illness, I strongly recommend mental health first aid training, and we need each other now more than ever before. Please get in touch for more information. A lot important that we signpost each other to various suggested systems out there, which is good. That's why we say the video we did last time, because Dr. Pamela is actually qualified to talk about mental illness. We are not qualified. I'm not qualified. I can just assume and suggest. But last week we had a very important topic with Dr. Pamela. So if anybody who wants to know more about depression and mental illness, please go to our what we spoke about last week. And then Dr. Pamela is also open to anybody contacting her and asking questions or talking to her about mental illness. And that is why this Lioness platform, I really value this platform, because every week she brings powerhouse and she brings people who are actually qualified for that topic. Because like today, what Ken spoke about, Ken actually went deeper and deeper. I didn't expect that. And he went really, really deep. And we also have Walter, who is always with us every time. Walter is like part of our team, because he's always there to support. But he's not qualified to talk about this or that, but he's always there to support, like me and you, because you are the host and I'm co-host, and Walter is always there. But every week you bring people who are actually qualified to deal with that issue. So if anybody wants mental illness, last week we spoke to Dr. Pamela, and this week we also have Ken. So yes, go on.
Ken, you have something to say?
The issue of qualification, I believe you have been working a lot with this mental health issue. We also need to move away a little bit from qualifications, and this is something that we need to talk about another day when it comes to qualifications and proof and validations, how did we have qualifications before we knew the Western system, before the degrees and certificates? How did we solve our issues? How did we solve our mental health
through our life experiences?
Like experience. So somebody like Lydia, for example, may have been talking about health issue for a long time. I believe we should say that she can give you credible advice on what to do. So we should also not be so sold on credentials offered in the West that sometimes we forget people have experience. Like Lydia may have had the experience dealing with someone in a real situation who is mentally depressed. So again, that's why I was just giving a comment that we need to move away to, let's not be too dependent on papers and qualifications. Let us be dependent on the motive that someone has, the willingness to help you, and the experience they may have. Because sometimes all you need is someone to talk to you, and someone who has dealt with a real situation. So like I was just saying, sometimes you guys are here, you may say you're not qualified, but your experience in life and through everything you do through this show may give you the actual tangible information to help someone's life. So let people not rely so much on qualifications.
Thank you, Kenneth. So we have to wind up. We have to wind up very quickly. This was a very beautiful Sunday. Another beautiful Sunday, another heavy topic, and we had the heavyweights in the house. So thank you so much. I want to wind up very, very fast, very, very fast. So can we say, is it time for us to change our mindset and come together again and live as a community here in diaspora? Walter, in 1, 2, 3 seconds, just give me your opinion, and I'll go to Lydia, and I'll go to Kenneth.
All right.
Lioness,
We
we actually still have
sorry,
a
Walter.
little time. We
Sorry?
actually still have like 10 minutes.
Ah, okay. Okay, we can go.
Yeah.
Okay, take your time. Not just take your time, Walter.
Oh.
Tell us, is it time now? Is it time now for us to, to come together, to unite in diaspora and do wonders? Yeah.
Yes, it's more than about time. If we look at what Ken said, everything starts with the economy, the economics of supporting one another. Without economics, you cannot go anywhere. That is the basis. If you go even back to our forefathers through barter trade, that was the economy that they brought out to have their kind of political systems. So from the economy, you move to the political system, you move to the courts and the police and the media and to education. Thereby, each step relies on the economy. And speaking on the economy, I was reading an article where it says that the money within the Black community does not stay there compared to other communities, whereby we are out ready to go and buy Indian meal, Chinese meal, but not an African meal. So if I get my money end of the month, I want to go for a Chinese meal. I'm not there to go for an African meal, which is wrong. We should aim at supporting our own and bring that money to keep it within. If your African brother or sister has a shop, that is where you go and do your shopping. It may be 1 or 2 pounds more, but that's where it is. I was also surprised the other day to learn that in Kenya, most of the big stores, like the Carrefour and the rest, they're actually, there are no shops or big stores that are owned by Kenyans. They're foreign.
Wow.
Yeah, and those are like the big supermarkets. So all that money that they earn there does not stay within that economy. They fight back to their mother economies. That brings us back again to the fact that the economy matters. So we have to start building our economies from the ground up. Then our lives will be more stable and matter more. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you, Walter. Thank you, Walter. Lydia, you want to add something on that? Your opinion? We, like we are winding up. Is it time for us now to, to come together and make things happen, change our mindset, and just say we have to go for it together, hand in hand?
I think it's been time for us to change our mindset from day one, but we're just not changing our mindset. But it is time to change our mindset, Lionel. It is that time. Personally, and I'm never scared to say it. I never say, oh my God, if I say it, they will attack me. I don't care. But me, I always believe in supporting Africans stroke Kenyans. First of all, I support my Africans, then I support my Kenyans. Right now, since this COVID-19 started, and I saw how Chinese were treating Africans. I do not eat Chinese food. I've told my children, no Chinese food in my house, or even if you go outside, do not ever buy Chinese food. If there's anything that belongs to a Chinese, if you can avoid it, okay, I know there's some things sometimes you can't avoid. They are Chinese made in China, and you can't avoid it, fine. But if is anything within your power, do not ever buy anything from Chinese. And I'm not scared to say it, because I saw how they treated our own people. I see how they treat Africans in their own country. And if our mindset don't change, Lioness, it's time. From before, if we do not change our mindset, we are going, you see the way what my friend said yesterday, that we say we can't breathe. We will die on the floor. We will not live, we will not get up, because we are supporting the same Chinese that are treating us like rubbish in their own country and in our own country. But we are busy supporting them. We are busy going to buy Chinese food instead of buying a Nigerian food. You say, okay, fine. Personally, I don't eat hot pepper. So I can say, oh, Nigerian food have too much. I can phone and say, sir, can you cook without pepper? Special made, I'll come and collect. There's always alternatives. So for me, I'm done with Chinese. I've said it so many times. My children know about it. Not supporting any Chinese business if you can avoid. Okay. And talking about economy as well, like Ken and Walter rightfully said that we are supposed to support our own business. Even us with our own business, we're supposed to help ourselves. I'll give you an example. You go to an African shop, the person is on the phone. You're talking to them, excuse me, sister, can you help me? How much is this? Can't you see the price? The price is written there. Why are you disturbing me? What kind of
thing?
What exactly? That is even a topic for another day. But what kind of business? How am I supposed to come back to your shop? Do you understand? So as much as we want to be supported as African business, we too, we need to support ourselves. You have a price, something is 10 pounds. Just put it 10 pounds. You're putting it 20 pounds because you know an African will come and start pricing you down before you get to that point. If it's 10 pounds, it's 10 pounds. Do not. You see, I'll give example again with my daughter who is only 17 and she does cakes. This girl is so professional. Even one day I was telling her, Mommy, just reduce the price. Me as an adult. She told me, Mommy, no, it's 45 pounds is 45 pounds. If the person don't want to buy it at that price, go to another train, get another train because someone else will come and appreciate our business. So we need to appreciate ourselves, appreciate your product, appreciate your brand. If it's 10 pounds, it's 10 pounds. When I did Kenya in the packet, I was saying it's 10 pounds. Some people are telling me, oh, Lydia, make it 5 pounds because it was free and just to go. I said it is 10 pounds. I want quality people, not quantity. And the quality people, indeed, they came. So we, as we want people to support our business, we have to also make sure that you actually believe in yourself and in your brand. If somebody comes to your shop, for crying out loud, why are you on the phone? Can that phone not wait? Serve your client, serve your customer, give them the best service you can give them. So tomorrow I can come back to your shop. So as much as we need to support our Africans who need to support themselves. And that is a topic for another day. So all I want to say is, as Black people, not just Kenyans, not just Africans, Blacks, we need to change our mentality. We need to get out from that floor and don't allow those people to oppress us. And like Kenneth said, you can only get oppressed by somebody who is wealthier than you because they have more money than you. So they will oppress you. So for us to get our economy up so we are not oppressed, we need to start helping ourselves and change our mindset.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sister Lydia. Kenneth, we are here. Is it time?
Thank you, and thank you, everyone. That's a great contribution from Walter and Lydia, quite insightful. I'm going to make a few points. And I'm going to make them a bit concise because I have many points when it comes to this issue. This is something very close to my heart as Black people because we are constantly working towards a goal. And we must have a structured way in which we want to get there. We must have a very specific goal. Because sometimes as Black people, we've spoken so much, we do not have a specific goal. Where do we want to get as a Black people? And we must now realize that, you know what, people have woken up. And we must come together and realize where are we going to as a Black people? What do we want to achieve? 1, 2, 3. We must have very clear goals. Now, number one, somebody mentioned about Black Lives Matter. One thing we as Black people need to do, we have to separate these issues. When we're dealing with racial issues, we have to separate them from ethnicity. We have to separate them from our own issues as Black people that we deal with in the diaspora. These issues are different. And sometimes if we mix them up, we end up losing. Now, someone saying that Black Lives matter anytime. Yes, they do matter every time. But in a situation whereby someone with more power is exercising their power with prejudice, you can, first of all, deal with that issue, even if you have issues within your own house. Deal with that issue at a higher level, as even you fight within the house. You understand? So we have to learn to separate the issues. If it's a racial issue, let's all stand together as a people and push for that racial issue. And then when we come back to our house as Black people, let's criticize each other positively and tell, no, this is wrong with you, this is wrong with you, you need to change this and that. So as a Black people, let's realize the difference between these issues. Let's not mix them up. And therefore, we end up fighting so much that we don't actually progress. So let's say when we're dealing with racial issues, we are a family. Nobody's left behind. And then when we come to get back to the level of our own diaspora and associations, we are now dealing with our own house. Let's organize that house. I'm saying this because there have been criticisms on Black Lives Matter protests and as an organization itself. And some people have said things about who is funding it and all that things. And what I say is this, we are always oppositional to anything that is bringing change. Black people will never follow one thing structurally and just support it to the end. You will always hear quarrels here, quarrels there. among the people who are supposed to be leading us to where we want to get. But at some point in life, or when things are happening, like let's say what happened when George Floyd died, at that particular point, all we need is support. And when we're getting support from the people, even white people from the other side, you don't want to hear them, you don't want them to hear you fighting about who is controlling what. They are coming there as very genuine people who do not care about the organization. They are coming there just to voice their concern about what is happening. But when they hear difference in voices within the same black people that they are trying to help fight, then you become alienated and everyone else leave you. So as black people, let's learn to support the organizations that lead these things. And then when we want to criticize them, let's come back to our houses when things are calm and criticize them in a nice way. That's one.
Okay.
Number
Thank
two.
you, Kenneth.
Let me just wind up with the number two, yeah?
Go ahead.
There's something called low vibration. And as black people, we have shame is a low vibration. Shame, guilt, competition, that's someone who's vibrating low. Now, if you have someone who's vibrating low around you, get rid of them. People with low vibrations are the people who are always competing, always ashamed of things, always don't want to take a step. Don't be around people who have low vibration. You can try and help them, but don't immerse yourself in the same river and absorb that vibration. Reach to a point where when you look at somebody who looks like you, you feel proud. When I look at Walter, I feel proud. When I look at Lydia, I feel proud. When I look at Anne, I feel proud. I feel that that's my brother. But people are ashamed to be associated with me. That's somebody who is vibrating too low, and therefore not there. So we must realize everything's about vibration and energy. Let's try and focus on people who have positive energy. Energy that builds your own, not energy that drags and drains your own. So all the people, we have to first go back to self-love. And self-love will drive all the other things. If you love yourself, you're vibrating high, you have no shame to be associated with your own people. You have no shame to be associated with building your own people. You have no shame to help someone else. You have no guilt to help another black person. Then in that level, you start vibrating high. When you start vibrating high, economics, politics, social issues become easier. But you must love yourself.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you, Kenneth. Kenneth, you've been a very, very inspiration today. I cannot even believe the words I'm hearing from you today. But it's just a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. The words of encouragement, empowerment today, it's very, very powerful. And I hope to see you next time. I don't know, I'll talk to Lydia. We have to have you back because you have a lot of positive energy, a lot of information that we need. And anybody who is watching right now, if you're in Finland, just connect with Kenneth Kaunda Aukko. He's the perfect person.
I'm in the UK now.
To be by your side.
I'm in the UK, so.
You're in the UK?
Now I'm in the UK, yes.
I know you're in the UK. Okay, sorry. Because you mentioned Finland earlier, I thought maybe I connected you with Finland. So sorry about that. Sorry about that. But if you're in the UK and maybe you need more information about anything empowerment, just talk also to Kenneth Kaunda Aukko. And Lydia is in the UK. Also, you see these powerful people. That's why I'm always behind Lydia. I'm always knocking on her door every time, every now and then. I don't know. Since we knew each other, we have never met with Lydia, but we talk a lot of things. I ask her a lot of things. I tell her you're my mentor because I like what she does, and I'm there positively behind her, following her, and wanting to do the best. In a positive way, not in a negative way, in a very positive way. Walter, I know our life experiences, we have passed through a lot. We have talked about racism. We have talked about everything, the encounters, the difficult challenges we face when we come to diaspora. Know that people who are not in diaspora know that it's not a walk in the park, a bed of roses. We always say, you have to come and fight for what you want in life.
Exactly.
Avoid negativity, avoid the wrong people, stay with the right people, for you to work things out. Because remember, we said, okay, the people at home should not put you under pressure for you to work hard to break your bone so that you can send them money, but also you have to work hard for yourself so that you can build the future for your family and the generations to come from, because this is building a generation of the African people. Is building a generation for the African people. We work hard and build a generation for the African people. We go back home and build the positivity, ways to help our people back home, build organizations, build schools, build everything. Whatever leader does when she goes back home, that is what we are talking about.
Yeah.
Going back home and bringing growth to positivity in our communities. That's what we are. And that's why we are here to create awareness of this program, Life Abroad. You know, it's a very, very, very sensitive topic. We are not joking about it. We are here to stay here and create awareness all through. We don't know, it's not about COVID anymore. This is about we now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what is ahead
Thank
of
you.
us. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I thank you all. God
Thank
bless
you,
you
Nana.
all. Have
Thank you.
a very blessed week ahead. We'll be talking. Yeah. Peace. And God
Peace.
bless you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about, how it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.